I have 3 children, and my first son was born 13 months before 9/11 in the year 2000. And so, and I've often talked in presentations and in manuscripts that I've tried to get published. I've said we have a generation of children growing up in the shadow of war. And I've had reviewers come back and say, that's a little bit too dramatic. And so at this point, you know, in 2018, I think, no, actually that's pretty much the case. So we have military families where you have an entire generation of children that's grown up in the context of war with deploying parents. So we don't have very many military families who have not experienced deployment at this point. And then you have civilian kids who have grown up with this, with like 9/11 happened, and it's part of their history. It's part of what they know. It's a landmark. And then the other kids that I think about are the kids in the countries where we're at war. So the devastation that we are involved in all over the world. So generations of children in Afghanistan and Iraq and Syria and all the places that we are militarily involved now. There's just been huge destruction, and we've lost a whole generation in some of these other parts of the world. And in some places things have gotten worse, much worse. And so, but an interesting thing about doing this work as a civilian is that many civilians aren't tracking on any of this, and many civilians, we don't have to pay attention to the wars. We don't have to know what's happening with the military. And only 1% of the population serves. So it's a really tiny percent of all of us who are engaged in this service work. And if I don't want to pay attention to it, I don't have to. And so that's been another really interesting kind of learning for me about whether I'm going to look at it and stay in the work, or whether I'm going to pivot.